One of the biggest problems that we see in the fitness industry and just in general wellness is a lack of mobility with people. Even in any fitness, wellness, even any clinical settings, a lack of mobility is a big issue. People tend not to move as well as they probably used to generations ago.
So as a massage therapist, I see a lot of different types of injuries, dysfunctions, and probably 80 to 90% of all of them are somehow related to a lack of mobility or stability in the body.
In terms of mobility, probably the most prominent thing that I see is a lack of awareness in terms of how we should be moving in relation to normal objects. So a lot of times for certain people, it's easy when you're in the gym to think and be consciously aware of how you're moving, what you're doing, keeping your core tight, not twisting while you're picking up weights, that sort of thing. And then when they get into the workplace, you're looking at repetitive motion on a grand scale.
I think the major issue with that is that we tend to sit a lot. I think our life has been kind of made very convenient for us in terms of we tend to sit a lot. We sit when we eat, we lay down when we sleep, we sit down when we work, we sit down when we get home. We're really not on our feet a lot. I think a lot of accrued time on your glutes tend not to be the best thing for you because that limits mobility on the lower half end.
And so practice poor posture is sitting in a bad position repeatedly so that your body comes to think that that poor position is what's natural. And
yeah, we're all born with great mobility. Even as a child, we can make our bodies do crazy things. But as we get older, we actually start slowly to lose, the process begins to lose our mobility, and that's because of lifestyle, lack of movement. Movement is life. If we're not moving, we're not living, so we just get tighter and tighter and tighter, especially with sitting. I always call it, we were not designed to sit in chairs, so I always say that, it's kind of a death seat because
I think the best way to address this problem is, first thing, education. I think people don't necessarily know they aren't moving correctly. I think the second thing is a fitness professional or wellness coach or strength conditioning specialist needs to properly educate the masses or general pop or their athletes, subjects, clientele of how to move properly. And I think the first thing to tackle in that is proper mobilization through soft tissue work, proper stretching. We'd probably stay away from static stretching at this point, more dynamic, movement-based sort of exercises. Once you get the person moving correctly and their mobility is at a level that is adequate, then you can add stabilization. So first you have mobility, you acquire mobility, then you go into stability, which is strength training, balance training, and then the movement patterns can get better as you go along.
two simple basic things are stretch the front, strengthen the back. So just simply lying face down, lifting your arms above your head, lifting an arm and an opposite leg, both sides, things like that, pulling them off the ground so that you strengthen the muscles down the back and stretch the muscles across the front is one really easy thing that you can do. It takes 30 seconds. And you can do that repeated a couple of times. That's going to help to open up the front, strengthen the back.
I mean, when you're looking at like a highly physical job, which, I mean, a lot of the jobs are ergonomics based, so even if I'm sitting at a desk, it's still really important for me to understand what's going to cause me, shoulder pain, what's going to cause me lower back pain. I mean, if I'm constantly sitting at a desk all the time, it's important for me to reiterate, like, hey, I've got to stand every once in a while, or how am I sitting right now? Making people aware of how they're sitting, where are their shoulders placed, where should a monitor be.
First one on my list is going to be buy a foam roller. They're all over the place. Actually, not just a foam roller, any self massage tool, a tennis ball, anything like that, it's all in the same category. This is going to help you stay loose, maintain mobility, and avoid pain down the road. It's just a self-massage, help keep your muscles nice and loose. Number 2 is going to be exercise. Movement, actually, not even just exercise specifically, but getting out, playing recreational sports, going to the gym, just getting out, making your body stronger so it can stabilize itself, and that'll prevent injury way down the road. Number 3, I'm probably going to go with yoga. Yoga is amazing. It really helps you build good posture, focus on your breathing, really strengthens your breathing, and again, keeps you loose, avoids injury down the road. Probably number 4, the last one's going to you can see a massage therapist, a physical therapist, a chiropractor, or see a personal trainer, maybe do some stretching, to actually have somebody manually lengthen your tissues out, stretch you, massage you. Basically, it's the same thing foam roller does, but they do it with their hands. A little more specific work, but I think there's a lot you can do on your own to help avoid seeing somebody like me do it for you.